Hello, and I'm back. I am Bridget Rowe, and the purpose of this particular video is to talk to you about ingredients. I want to go with you to the store. I want you to come rather with me to the store. And in the store, I'm going to be showing you things that are listed all as ingredients on certain items, things that I would like for you to be conscious of to avoid. Because we make the conscious decision when we go to the store whether we pick and choose things that heal us or things that kill us. And so sometimes people just don't know. They just don't know, and they begin to pick the things that are just tasting good and not beneficial for their body. So there are things that you need to avoid for yourself and avoid bringing home to your loved ones because they have no nutritional value. So before we go to the store, I wanted to do this short video to tell you about some of those things that I personally avoid and the reason why I personally avoid them, because knowledge is power. So we're going to go to the store with our power. First and foremost, I want to let you know that ingredients are always listed on the back of a product, and ingredients is listed by predominance level. This is like, for example, the greatest of the item comes first and then so forth. So for example, let's say I decided to make a candy, a banana flavored candy, and my ingredients in my candy was listed on the back as sugar, high fructose corn syrup, and then banana. Keep in mind, because I listed in that order, that means my item is really powerful as far as sugar, and the lesser of that particular ingredient is gonna be the banana. So it's little to no banana in my item, but it's a lot of sugar. Then in second place comes a high fructose corn syrup, and then I decided to add a little bit of banana. So that's what the predominance level that I'm speaking to you of, just for a better understanding in case you didn't know what that meant. In any case, we're going to be going to 3 different stores. We're going to go to a whole food store, which is a health food store. A lot of people should know about that. It is a health food store, but it is a store that is very expensive. To me, I look at Whole Food Store as meaning your whole paycheck. Keep in mind, everything in Whole Food Store is not the thing you should get. You know, they have toxic food there. Everything is not organic there. But there are some things there that you will not find in other stores. So this is why I go there for certain items. Then I'm going to take you to maybe an Asian or Mexican type store. This is a store that is reasonable, cost efficient. Maybe you can get your herbs, spices, your fruits and vegetables and things like that, of that such, from an Asian market or Mexican market, or maybe a farmer's market. The last type store I will take you to will be a store that's really well known. It's called Walmart. And I personally do not shop at Walmart anymore because Walmart to me does not carry enough of healthy items. Maybe they've improved, I don't know. But when I started in my journey, they did not have the healthy items that I was looking for. And I feel now it is a waste of time to go there. But I will take you there because a lot of people start off there. And in the beginning of my journey, I started off going there. And I will go to the Whole Food Store and the Walmart, and I will compare the items that they had, and I will read the ingredients, and I would educate myself because I just wanted to figure out why I was often sick, why my children were sick. So I was like, it gotta be what we're consuming. And I just wanted to do better. I wanted to have knowledge. I wanted to have the mental clarity and the power beyond understanding these things in order to walk into my healing, walk into my blessing. And I wanted to teach my children before they left my home what health and wellness was all about. And I started immediately at that point. So now I'm at a point where I do not shop at Walmart. The only thing I actually get there is toilet paper, because that's really all Walmart can do for me at this moment. So with that being said, those are the 3 stores that we're going to go to. And I also want to remind you that sometimes we'll have things listed as all natural or natural flavoring. That means that that particular item was derived from something that was made in nature, and then they possibly could have added something to it. So they could take something that was natural in nature and add some type of emulsifier, stabilizer to it, or preservative to it, and not even tell you. So just because you see something that says all natural, it doesn't mean it is so organic and so good for you. We're going to get deeper into that. I have my notes of some things that's on this paper some bullet items that I don't want to miss. So let's begin. The first thing I have on my list is MSG. MSG is a flavoring enhancer, and when most of the time those have it abbreviated MSG, but when it is written out, that word is monosodium glutamate. This particular flavor agent, the reason why I no longer purchase it is because it'll tighten up your muscle. A side effect of it, it'll tighten up your muscle and it'll cause headaches. And that's just temporary. If you keep on consuming this, you'll end up with permanent issues, because what MSG does is overstimulate your cells to death. No MSG. The next item is high fructose corn syrup. Now, high fructose corn syrup is something that's plentiful in a lot of things. It is the leading cause of why we have so much of yeast buildup and candida situations, because it encourages bad bacteria to outweigh the good bacteria in our gut. So we're no longer in a healthy balance. So this is a breeding ground for parasites to thrive and bacteria to grow out of control. And we all know that parasites love sugar. So it leads to a lot of toxicity in the body. The next thing, speaking of sugar, is sugar. That's something I also try to avoid in my diet, because sugar is just like being addicted to crack. Like, for example, you have a bag of Oreo. The reason why you can't just eat, most people cannot just eat one Oreo, is because not only is it sugar in the Oreo, but 9 times out of 10 there's the high fructose corn syrup, which is tricking your brain into thinking that you're hungry when you're really full. And the sugar on top of it making you addicted to it, making you want more and more and crave more and more of it. And that's why it's so hard to get off of that. Meanwhile, you have this dopamine, this feel-good hormone that is being released, telling you that it feels good to eat and indulge in this particular item. So sugar linked with high fructose corn syrup is a no-no. And just remember this as a rule of thumb: sugar ages. Just with that in mind, that's just something that I just constantly remember when I'm looking at ingredients. Where's the sugar? And where is it on the list? You know, sometimes I will purchase something when the item, as far as predominance level, is really low. If the sugar is like the last thing, instead of just, for example, like when I was telling you about the banana candy. If the sugar was the last thing, that's letting me know it's less of it. It's better than it being the first thing, just being made predominantly out of sugar. The next thing is a food additive that I want to tell you about, called maltodextrin. Maltodextrin is how you pronounce it. It's an artificial food additive. It's like a white powder. It has no nutritional value in it whatsoever, but it spikes up blood sugar. You can find this in your chips. You can find this in baked goods also. This particular additive is made from GMO corn, which leads me to the next thing I avoid: GMO corn. The reason why I avoid GMO corn is, first of all, regular corn, just because of the agricultural process of it, leads to a lot of mold. There's a lot of mold built up in it. But there's this new and improved steroid type corn. I just relate to it as a steroid type corn. It is a GMO corn that has a tolerance level where it is tolerant to herbicides. You know, like Roundup and the things that they put on as herbicides and pesticides. It's tolerant to that. So basically, when consuming this GMO corn, you are consuming all type of herbicides, pesticides, the mold buildup and stuff in corn. I try to stay away from corn at all costs, but corn is in a lot of things because they have so much of it and they're putting it in almost everything. Milk, you already know, those that purchased my book, you already know how I feel about milk. Milk is basically cow pus. You know, the female cow, whether she was on antibiotics, growth hormones, steroids, if she was sick, if she had cancer, if she was standing in a bunch of manure when she was being purged of her, milked of her pus, then basically that energy is being transferred inside of us because we are energy. In lieu of milk, though, you have options to all of these things I'm saying, because in lieu of milk, you could easily make milk out of hemp seeds. hemp milk. You know, I make it with coconut water from a fresh coconut, some hemp seeds, and a couple of dates. Blend it in a blender. Bam! It foams up like milk. It is so delicious. The next thing on my list is called gelatin. And the reason why it's on my list is because it's pig skin. And you got to keep in mind also those that try to go to a healthier type of meat. If you're still on meat and you try to go to like maybe a Whole Foods store to purchase your meat, and you'll get like sausage, for example, the links of sausage. That casing, the casing that they put on the meat is pig skin. So even though you're saying, okay, I don't eat pork anymore, that casing is pig skin and gelatin is pig skin also. The next thing I have on my list is garlic. Garlic has an enzyme inside of it called allicin. Allicin, so for example, let's say for example you had a clove of garlic and you cut the garlic in half. That juice that's coming out of it is the allicin. And that's what makes the garlic begin to smell. The reason why I stay away from garlic is because you can, that same cut piece of garlic, you can put it on your skin and it'll begin to eat your skin. It will begin to burn through your skin. And it is no different when you consume it inside of you. When you consume garlic inside of you, it will begin to burn through your intestines, burn your cell, just eat you up in the inside. I actually have felt this before, and I pay attention to my body because my body, I have a built-in GPS system, and it tells me when I'm doing wrong and when I'm doing right about it. If you're in tune with yourself, you'll see that. Now, a lot of people like garlic. To each his own. I know what it does for me and what it does not do for me. So I stand clear from it. And the next item I have on my list is carrots. And the reason why I stay away from carrots is because carrots is a GMO. The orange carrot is. Carrot was made from the yarrow root and a wild carrot to produce the orange carrot that we have now. Carrot's original color was purple. But even with that in mind, I stay away from it because one is a GMO, and anytime something is genetically modified, it has been altered of its original source. So something has been left out or it's been manipulated in some way. So I try to I do stay away from all GMO food sources. But not only that, when I did eat carrots, what I noticed and felt is that I would feel dis-ease in my intestines. And later to find out that carrots, once you chew them up, the texture of it is still really sharp inside of the intestines, and it could actually have make nicks inside of your intestines. For example, like knives, like slices of little fine knives poking at you in your intestines. And this is the same for celery. Carrots and celery, those are two that I don't mess with. And celery also has a lot of pesticides. Celery and strawberries, oh my gosh, they spray that so much and it houses so much of pesticides. So unless I'm growing my strawberries or getting them from a really good source, I don't like to buy the strawberries. But anyway, carrots and celery is something that I stay away from. Beets. My body does not agree with beets. I did not do any research on beets. I need not do any research on beets. My body did the research on beets. Beets, when I consume them, I used to try to juice them in the beginning of my journey, and they would make my liver hurt so much. I would be in so much pain. That's it. I need no more research done on beets. No one can tell me how good beets are because my body, which is infinite intelligence, has already told it to me. Now, everybody is different. If you like beets, go get your beets. But my body has told me no. And I'm at a place where I have this impeccable diet about myself. And I can be blindfolded right here. And somebody could give me a GMO orange. When I put that GMO orange on my tongue, I'm at a place in my journey where I know it is not real. So, beets don't win me over. Beets let me know, no, I should not be consuming it. In the store, I don't need to do research on it because I'm not eating them anymore. The last thing I have on my list is soy. Soy is a waste product. I'm sorry about that. And it contains a lot of solvents and pesticides. And this comes from the sludge after making the soy oil, after the degumming process is done. And so what's left over, they put it in food. So when I say soy, I am talking about all commercial forms of soy. I'm talking about tofu, soybean oil. I'm talking about soy milk. I'm talking about soy veggie burgers. I'm talking about soy in candies. And they'll list soy as the word soy by itself in candy. And then they'll have, sometimes they'll call it soy lecithin. And all forms of soy is not healthy for you. Whether it is the milk, the soybean oil, or whatever, soy is not good. Soy should be ran away from. And the reason why I say to run away from the soy is for two reasons. For one, soy has phytoestrogens inside of it. And so phytoestrogens actually affect your shape, your fertility, your weight. You know, they contribute to hormonal imbalances. They'll knock your immune system out of whack, contribute to digestive issues. They actually trigger the body to store fat. So I stay away from the soy because I know that it is really damaging to the body for many, many reasons. Reproductive disorders, all behind soy. So outside of the phytoestrogens, there's another reason why I stay away from soy, and that's because there's a substance called goitrogens. Goitrogens in soy disrupt thyroid. It also disrupts your adrenal glands, right? So this leads to you feeling sluggish, not wanting to move around, just out of breath, always stressed out, mental fatigue. This leads to thyroid issues as well. So you don't have any energy level. Your thyroid is out of whack. Everybody, not everybody, but a lot of people have thyroid, whether it's hyper or hypothyroid issues, because soy is pretty much in everything. So those are the things that I wanted to share with you off top of my head that are jotted down before we go to the store. Keep in mind, this should give you a new meaning when you're telling your children, would you like a trick or treat? You know, when you're trying to treat your children to things you call a snack. I mean, with me, it took toll of me because I got to a place where I was like, well, wow, if all of these things are included in the food, what are we going to eat? And I didn't know anything about the fruits and vegetables, the herbs and spices, and how to trick it and make the food taste just like my chicken, and how to make sauces. I didn't know how to do any of those things. Matter of fact, I really didn't even eat vegetables prior to this particular journey. I was just low frequency. I was just fast fooding it out. And a lot of people live their life like that, but we get no nutritional value when we do those things. So with that in mind, we're going to go to the store. I want you to come to the store with me. And so when we go to the store, we're going to walk into the store with our power, because our knowledge is our power. It always has been. And so now we're going to go there educated as to what we need to avoid. And when we already know what we need to avoid, then we can be drawn to the things that are good for us. When we know what we don't want, then the opposite is true. We know what we do want. So we're going to go to the store and we're going to go for the things that we do want. Be blessed.